Hey, Brendan. Thanks so much for having me today to talk about the real estate market.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think right now is a very good time to discuss this. We're just in the beginning of the year.
Agreed. And there's lots of exciting things happening that I think we should share with buyers and sellers out there.
There's also things I think people are uncertain of.
Absolutely.
As things are going on in the economy, they just want to know, hey, tell us, what should we do right now if we're interested in buying or selling or whatnot? So I think you and I can talk about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what happened in the market last year?
Well, in 2021, we just got out. We were still very much in the pandemic, right? But it was kind of very uncertain terms. And so as far as interest rates go, they were very low in the beginning of 2021, and they were expected to go up and then fall towards the end of the year. Okay?
And did that happen?
It did, actually. So they did rise in the spring. They ended up coming back down, though, earlier than what was expected. And so that was good. And so a lot of people were able to get into homes and still are able to get into homes because of low rates.
Rates are great, and they allow a person to know their budget and their affordability. Would you say so?
Absolutely.
And you and I can create a plan for them and help them get into the home that they want. And with the low supply, it may not be their dream home, but it's a home to start out.
Yeah, a starter home. Exactly, especially for young families. They can turn it into an investment later down the road, but it's something to get started into.
And that's what's important when you're purchasing real estate, right? Is just getting in there and getting started.
Yeah, so tell me about the housing market. How was that last year? And we're gonna talk about what it's to come, but.
Well, up, the sky is the limit, right? So we saw a lot of deals happen and we got a lot of people into houses and the prices are climbing. The rates are still historically low, so we could create a budget for families and then help them decide what house to get into. And you and I helped families from first-time home buyers on down payment assistance, all the way up to investors that were buying second homes.
Yeah, and the Phoenix market has been very hot, but we can serve anybody, anywhere, across the entire valley.
And how do you think it went in the challenging market, getting offers accepted in multiple offer situations and dealing with the challenge of making the connections and building the relationship with other real estate agents to help our clients get into homes?
I think that's the big thing, is that you want to give assurance. And I think in a very hot market where there's a lot of offers being thrown, I think having a team like you and I have, having the confidence in those sellers and the selling agents has really helped.
Yeah, and I think building the relationships is super important that a lot of people don't do. So not only do I reach out to the listing agent, but you do too. And you give us a boost to say, hey, this person is really well qualified and we're gonna get the deal done if you go with us. And if we get to that point, a lot of times we win the deal and we get our clients to the finish line and into their new home. And
it's about the little things. I think a lot of people, or at least the lenders, get very busy and they forget to do little things like that, right? They just hope that the piece of paper that's being passed across an email is gonna do it, and it's not. You gotta place a phone call, you gotta make a connection, because that's the start of the relationship, and when your offer gets accepted, you want it to be started on that kind of foot. So,
for sure. And I think that helped us help a lot of families and really build that camaraderie with the people on the other side of the table.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about this year in 2022. So kick it off with housing. What have we already seen? What are we expecting as we go into 2022?
So we are expecting up to 20% increases in equity across the valley. That's what Goldman Sachs is predicting for this year. And if it's any indication as to what happened last year, we went up to 40% in some communities. So you and I both live in Gilbert. We're here in the area. We love it. We want to serve where we live. And some of the neighborhoods in Gilbert went up 40% last year. So their equity was just massive. They gained almost half of their home's value in 1 year. So that's really exciting for any homeowner. So what we'd like to tap into for this year is those people with those huge equity lines. And if they want to upsize or downsize or right size for their family's needs, we can help them.
I've seen that with my own residents and with friends and family, and a lot of people have tapped into that. And it's a good opportunity to do refinance if you want to do some renovations to your home. You have that equity to do that with. So, and again, getting in as early as possible on owning real estate is only going to continue to benefit you, especially with our market. So.
And my financial advisor says the best time to buy real estate is 20 years ago, because it's only going to go up in value.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what we're
saying. History tells
saying.
us that. So as far as interest rates in 2022, There were announcements made at the end of last year by the Fed that they were going to start tapering and they were going to start kind of pulling back out of the market, which they started to do that very heavily at the beginning of COVID. And now their plan is to get out. And so that has taken place and people have started to see interest rates go up.
And do you think people are getting a little nervous because the
I think
interest
they
rates
are.
are going up?
Yeah, I mean, they're used to where we've been, right? And people don't remember 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 years ago when the rates were double digit. Let's do the math on that and let's figure out, I mean, you're still, with the values going up, it's still 100% a great decision, even with rates that are on the rise.
Absolutely, because for renters, you're at 100% interest.
Exactly.
And you never get value back on that investment because you're paying a landlord.
Yep.
So now is a great time for first-time home buyers or investors to get into the market to maximize some of those values, because even though rates are going up, they're still at historic lows.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we talk about history, and again, I know you've had clients that you've discussed rates with in the past, right? And I don't want to make it all about the rates that are going up, because again, the forecast in this year is that we're trying to fight inflation. And if the Fed does it right and they're able to get inflation to come back down, the next step would be to get the rates to come back down too. And so that could be something that could be as early as the end of this year. And so, again, don't be afraid.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And we can come up with strategies for people to help alleviate their fears and get them into a home, whether it's going out to a different area that's more affordable, or just getting them into a different kind of home. The best buyers right now are the ones that are flexible.
Yeah.
And the best seller is any seller,
Yeah,
right? Because
exactly.
it's a seller's market.
Yeah.
And just knowing the value of what their home is and pricing it appropriately.
Yeah. And again, speaking from personal experience, I talk about my personal family and the first home that my wife and I bought. It was not the most convenient. It was not right down the street from my work. And we bought in Surprise. And, we bought that home originally. When we sold it, well, we actually bought it and it went down in value significantly. That was 2008. When we sold it, we more than made back what we had, and we were able to put down on the home that we're in now. But we took that risk in the beginning, right? It was not the perfect home based on location. We were flexible with our agent, and that's exactly what you're talking about. And so I tell that story to all my clients because they don't know, they haven't been through it before, especially the first-time home buyers, so.
Yeah, and wouldn't you say, like right now, especially with the increasing equity, get into that home, wait 6 months, pull out some of your equity, refinance, and then get your dream kitchen or the floors that you want or the paint color that you wanted to do on the walls.
Yeah.
Because the money's there if you just wait for the market to go up, because we anticipate that those trends are going to go up throughout this year and into next year.
Yep, exactly.